right, well, joining us on KelownaNow Live, it is James Barker, the James Barker Band. How you doing?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
Very well. You checking in from home, or are you on the road?
Uh, here in Nashville for a couple days. Obviously, we've got a kind of a run of shows coming up. So here until Thursday morning, bright and early. So
And then you're on the road. You get here on Sunday, the 10th.
yeah, we get there on Sunday, and we are in Niagara Falls on the 8th. So got to get to do almost both sides of the country. So.
Yeah, that's big. So obviously it's not going to be a jam the bus kind of a deal. It's you're flying, and it's a little easier that way, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we'll be doing the fly thing. So
Yeah. So on the 10th, that's this coming up Sunday. You're going to be in Prospera with it's Dawson Gray, correct?
Dawson Gray, which is really cool because I mean, especially in this like age of the digital age, I guess you could call it. We connect with so many people online through like TikTok and Instagram, and I actually talked to Dawson like a week ago. And so it's kind of cool that we'll get a hang in.
Yeah. Have you been to Kelowna before?
Yeah, we've been to Kelowna a few times actually. I think the last time we were there was probably 2019. Pre-COVID is all like it's like you're trying to remember what even anything was, but I think it was 2019.
Yeah. So obviously since then, just a ton has happened for you. Most recently, you had a pretty big experience with the Grand Ole Opry.
We did. Still kind of still kind of sinking in. I feel like it's kind of for the first few days after it, which is crazy because like there was so much hype beforehand that you would think like it would sink in. But no, we're still kind of riding the high from that. It was honestly like I feel like a lot of things in the music industry are not worth the hype. The Grand Ole Opry is worth the hype.
I was going to say, it's kind of the holy grail, isn't it? You kind of feel like you've arrived at that moment. You get invited to the Grand Ole Opry.
Absolutely, and I do think that there's like a bit of a like self-confirmation or something to it because I was kind of concerned, or I guess I always have, but it's like we ever play the Grand Ole Opry, I feel like we're not going to feel like we belong a little bit. You know what I mean? Which is maybe just like an artist thing to be like feel like you're unworthy or something.
I think it's
But I
that
felt like
imposter syndrome they talk about.
yeah, honestly, it probably is imposter syndrome. But when we were there, I was like, no, we like maybe it's because it's such like a warm like musicians atmosphere where everybody's just like you're in it together, and I feel like it was really welcoming, but it definitely felt like no, like we
Who
belong here,
so
this feels like home.
who is there of note that you were surprised or excited to see for your night?
I mean, we were actually on like a spectacular night. So Asleep at the Wheel, which is like an older
Yeah.
country group, but like I like grew up loving like a handful of their songs. Like I don't even know if the rest of the guys in the band knew, but that was pretty sick. And like he was still like spot on, like nailed it. And had a wicked jacket on. Lainey Wilson was there that night, which is like Lainey's like as fast a rising star as is in country music right now. And then Jamie Johnson, who's like just an icon and like has such an amazing voice and like the opera's like a variety show, so everyone only does like two or three songs, except for Lainey, she did like five or six. But Jamie Johnson just went out there like with his acoustic guitar and just like just made the room fall silent.
Hmm.
And so it's just cool, like you're just in the next dressing room, and they're like not big dress, you know what I mean? They're like 15 by 15 dressing rooms, and they're just the right next door, so it's pretty cool. And they've got like an open door policy, they say. So like I don't even know if you're allowed to close the dressing room doors. Like it's supposed to be like, yeah, if you're here, like people come and say hi, you go say hi, like do the whole thing. So
That's cool. That's cool. Now you've been in Nashville for a while. You've been you hooked up with Dierks Bentley for New Old Trucks. How did that come about? And tell me about the experience collabing with him.
man, it's a bit of a weird like long story. It's one of those things that goes to prove that like you have to be in this industry for a minute before things kind of come to. But like back in 2017, I guess it was, Dirks was coming through Toronto, and he was like doing a promo run before he was playing a big festival in Ontario called Boots and Hearts. And we caught wind that they were looking for like a backing band for this pop-up show he was going to do, and we're like, we can do that. And we were still like kind of doing bars and stuff at the time. And they're like, okay, well, learn the stuff and Dirks will come like to like a rehearsal. And I'm sure that in the back of their mind, like, if these guys suck, we'll just not do it. You know what I mean? But he showed up, and we like spent 48 hours just cramming to learn the songs, like note for note. Like I'm not kidding, like did not sleep. And he showed up and he was like super impressed and happy with it. So we played for his backing band for this thing and it kind of created this like relationship with Dierks we have where whenever he's in, Ontario and I think across Canada, he'll like play some of our songs in the set and stuff. And we weirdly through a friend of a friend, he heard the song New Old Trucks that I had written. Like it kind of got pitched to him, but we knew we were going to cut it at that point. And he was like, "Well, the guys recording it," and our friend was like, "Well, they've already cut it and everything." He was like, "Okay, well, I'm not going to try and like steal the song, but I would love to sing on it with them." And so he texted me. He's like, "Are you cool if I sing on this song?" And I was like, "Dude, man, you can like whatever, man. You can have the dang song." So it was you could sing the phone book with us. So it was pretty crazy how it like was one of those like full circle things.
That's so cool. So you are setting out on a bit of a tour. What all do you have in store for touring and concerts? Looking ahead the next little while, do you have a roster building? What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, we've got weirdly like because I feel like I mean, especially because of Canada, like generally the spring is kind of slow. You know what I mean? Like it's not until end of May and honestly sometimes like June, because like it can still be cold, and half the country's still under ice even into the first part of May. But we've got like a pretty busy March, obviously coming out to see you guys, and then a couple other weekends. Junos are coming up, and we're fortunate to be nominated. Those are the 24th of March, so that's only a couple weeks away. So we'll be at the other side of the country in Halifax for that, and then we're playing a show while we're out there, and and honestly, like we're playing like all over Canada this year. All fly dates. I mean, not really allowed to talk about it, but probably going to be doing some sort of a what's the right way to say this? Not get in trouble. Formulated run of shows later in the year. But right now we're just like kind of every weekend doing fly dates all over, but basically between now and August.
So what's it like touring with the band? I mean, some bands they're can get a little crazy, can get a little lots of antics, hijinks, if you will, on the road. Or are you guys a little low key? Like, what do you guys do when you're on the road?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not like we don't go wild or anything like that. We're not like Motley Crue, but we're definitely a band. It's definitely like we have some fun and we like to like razz each other a lot because I feel like we've been a band now for almost 10 years, which is crazy to think about. And we started pretty young, and we just learned early on that like you kind of have to have fun and poke fun at it, and like it's got to be like a brotherhood. You know what I mean? Where yeah, you're gonna have your fights, but they've got to be like brother type fights. You know what I mean? Not like real ones. And yeah, we have a pretty good time.
Is there
It depends if it's the morning and it's like 4 in the morning and you're catching a flight, it's less fun at that point. But
Yeah, I hear you. Is there a prankster on the bus or on the plane ever? Or
Connor is generally the one who's like brutal for pranks, like, and he's weird because there's no alliance with him. You know what I mean? Like the band, I feel like goes through these phases where like two people will be aligned for a minute and then like they'll branch off. Connor is always a wild card, and so like you might think that he's on your team, but he's like playing a double agent, and he's actually going to get you. And he's brutal even for doing like him and Taylor will both do that stupid thing where they'll hide behind a wall and jump out. But like you know what I mean? Like it's the oldest, lamest thing, but it's always funny when someone scares someone else, and so they'll do that one.
yeah.
So we've gotten a little bit more tame with our stuff. Like we used to like put stuff in people's bunks and stuff on the bus, and now it's like okay, no messing of the bunks. The bunks are a sacred place. So
That's good. Well, as you've gained notoriety and people are starting to recognize you out in public, obviously, and things like that, what kind of interactions do you have with fans? Do you have any memorable moments or memorable fan interactions over the last little while?
oh man, we've had so many, and I'm not gonna lie. Like I know some people are like, "Oh, like, is it annoying or whatever?" But we love it. Like we've been so fortunate to have so many like fans come up and just tell us about like this song changed my life, or like even with new old trucks, be like, "Oh, this song reminds me of a truck I got from my dad," and stuff like that. Like pretty cool. And I feel like those things are so cool that because like I feel like a lot of people would be too nervous to say that. You know what I mean? To come up and talk to an artist or whatever. But for us, it's almost just like a pat on the back that something is connecting, especially in country music where it's all kind of about like connecting. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like it's supposed to be like real songs about real life, and so anytime that stuff happens, um, it feels really cool. It's only weird. It's only weird if someone asks for something. I've had a couple times where people have asked me for my hat, and I'll be like at dinner. I'm like, I mean, it's not a sentimental hat, but then I gotta sit through dinner with hat head. You know what I mean? So, that's the only weird one.
I get it. Um, now you're coming to Kelowna. You've been here. It's a growing city, one of the fastest, if not the fastest, in Canada right now. And I got to say, it also feels like it has a really quickly emerging music scene. Like it seems like it's more and more vibrant every month. And some new up and coming bands that are really starting to kind of hit the scene as well. Just curious, any advice for any up and coming musicians and performers?
Oh man, I feel like just keep doing what you do. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that, and it sounds cliche, but it's kind of cliche for a reason, right? Because people keep saying it because it's true. It's just like focus on making your art, and the only person's opinion. I mean, people's opinion matter, but what the opinion that matters the most is yours. You know what I mean? If you listen back to it and you're like, "That's awesome, that's good," then that's all you can do. And if people react to it, then they're reacting to it because it's authentically you. And if they don't, we'll just keep doing it. And eventually one day people will. You're probably just ahead of it. And honestly, the other thing is just don't quit. You know what I mean? Like, don't quit. And even further than that, and every parent out there who's got a kid who's into music is going to hate me for saying this, but like, don't have a backup plan if you want to do this. Like, I feel like that's the one thing that I like, not strategically, but just did not. It was like, for me, it was like, it's music or nothing. And I didn't go to college and I didn't plan on it and didn't have anything like that. And it's like, no, if you have a backup plan, you'll fall back. You know what I mean? And if you don't, you'll find a way to make it work. You know what I mean? You find the best foods and the scraps when you're hungry, And so you gotta have that hunger in you. You have to feel that, you have to feel the heat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. You're going to be here arriving at some point over the weekend, obviously playing. Any plans? What do you typically like to do when you're staying in town?
I don't know. I mean, obviously it's harder this time of year, but golfing is our big thing. But I don't know what the weather. I haven't checked the weather. What it's been like out there.
I hear that in Kelowna, that actually there are a number of courses opening weekend is this coming up weekend. So if
Is
you
it
plan ahead,
okay?
a little,
That's
you should be
awesome.
good. Yeah.
That's awesome because like in Ontario, like obviously because that's where we're from originally, it's like no, it's still like a no. Even though it's been a really mild winter, it's a no go. But like in Nashville, like it's golf is on. Like the grass is brown, but you can golf. So man, maybe we should golf when we're in town. It's like yeah, that's like the best, especially this time of year because it just feels like it's not too hot and it just feels cool to be outside, for once.
Totally. Check out KelownaNow.com. I know we just posted an article, I think even today it was, about the golf courses opening up this weekend. So if you're interested,
Oh,
anyways.
nice.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely. I'll tell the guys. So
Awesome. Now let's talk about the show. It's Sunday night, 7 p.m. Prospera. What else? Oh, there's a fundraiser component, right?
yeah, yeah, there is a fundraiser, and I mean, anytime that we can help align with a charity, I mean, we obviously come out and try to have a fun show, and even when it's a more serious, like for this event, when it's a more serious topic, but I think that if there's anyone who's like sitting on the fence, like I don't know if I should be going out to this, like, oh, come out, you can have a good time and support a good cause. So
And that being the our hospice here.
yeah, at the hospice in Kelowna. So which obviously, like I said, like there's some fundraisers that are a little bit like more serious, but I do think that it's like you can also have a good time raising money for a good cause, even if it is a more serious cause.
I also understand the venue, or I'm not sure how it's working exactly, but anybody who buys tickets, either online or by phone, are going to be entered to win a house draw of tickets to see Taylor Swift as well. So it's like you get a concert, you get to support a charity, and you might walk away with sold out Taylor Swift tickets.
It's like a lottery ticket that you could win, but could also get you a bunch more lottery tickets. So the Taylor Swift thing is like the biggest thing in like the world right now. So maybe we'll enter to win that. I wonder if we get entered to win by being there. I don't think so.
I imagine not, but
yeah. It might look a little bit sketchy if we won the Taylor Swift
and the
tickets,
winner
wouldn't
is
it?
James Barker.
Oh, convenient.
That's awesome. All right, and well, we're looking forward to seeing the show this coming up weekend, and we appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to connect with us and share a little bit about your experience. I'm so excited for you. Being in country radio in the past, I've had a chance to talk to lots of musicians along the way, and I can see your authenticity and your passion for what you're doing. And I'm excited for you, man. That's super.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate you taking the time, and we're happy to be out there. Like you said, we'll get out there and hopefully not make a mess of the golf courses while we're there. So
Sounds good. All right. Well, till next time, we'll look forward to the show.
awesome. Thanks, dude.